The thing I enjoy most about playing the music of Steve Reich is its diversity, its complexity, its challenging nature, the fact that you've, particularly for the percussion parts, you've got to put a lot of time into it before, well, I certainly feel ready for attacking it for the first time. It's got a very personal set of challenges that I find completely irresistible, and that's why on this particular project for LSO Live we tried to put together a programme that reflected really all of the pieces that the group themselves really like to play. For me, he leads the minimalist school. I would say he's probably the most important figure. Of course, you have Terry Riley, of course, a bit later you have John Adams, all fantastic composers. But for me, Steve did things that personally really appeal to me. His use of jazz, the vernacular American music, I thought is incredibly interesting. That strikes a very deep resonance with me. So I think he's a leader in that field. I really do. I think everybody else kind of followed Steve. The only way to keep your place, for me personally, in Steve Reich's music is you have to practice. You have to know when the changes are. You kind of have to memorise them. If you're counting on the gig, it will go wrong. So you have to know that this is where it changes and then it's going to change there, and it just becomes part of what you do. You don't need to think about it. I think the second you do have to think about it is the time that it goes wrong. We were very lucky in that everybody involved in this particular project knew the pieces inside out, which is a really great place to start. So right from the word go, everybody was ahead of the game, if you will. So when it came to the performances, it was just such great fun to play, which it always should be. Well, my favourite movement from Sextet, I mean, it's a colossus of the repertoire. I mean, it's incredible. It never gets any easier. It's easy and yet it's difficult. It's simple yet it's incredibly hard. It's got everything. So the obvious favourite would be the last movement, because it really grooves like a good one, and it's great fun to play. But my personal favourite is the preceding movement, the fourth movement, because I've always loved the way Steve approaches the vibraphone. The vibraphone is a really special instrument for me, and Steve was kind of one of the first guys that just asked for particular performance techniques on the vibraphone, where we're playing, particular stick damping situations that get really, really cool effects on the vibraphone, and I've always been drawn to that. So the fourth movement is very vibraphony, and it's a little bit hypnotic, and as a lot of Steve's music is. But I really enjoy playing the fourth movement because the vibes are really leading it, and in conjunction with the piano, I find that's kind of the most satisfying movement to play. Although you can't beat the last movement in Sextet because it's so uplifting. It's kind of joyous in a way, which I find totally irresistible.